So I just got done watching the Last of Us TV show, and yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So I don't talk about TV shows, movies, or anything like that. We usually do game reviews here. Well, we do game reviews here, but considering this is based off the game that I really like, I've made that very clear on the channel. I thought I'd give my thoughts every week on every episode. Not crazy in depth or anything, but you just got to talk about it because there's a lot to talk about here. There is a lot. So I'm coming from the perspective of someone that has actually played the games many times. I think I've completed it like 10-15 times, probably more than that over the last 10 years. They've definitely improved areas, they've definitely gone backwards in some cases, but I'll get to that. But overall, man, I'm really excited to see where this show goes now. But first off, let's start with the casting choices. Pedro Pascal as Joel, pretty much perfect so far. I'm gonna stick with that for the entirety until the show is finished. I'm gonna say so far, because something can go horribly wrong. You never know. Something may have gone wrong in the production, whatever. Doubt it, but, you know, be skeptical. But so far, Pedro Pascal as Joel, he's smashing it. He's nailing it. I prefer this interpretation of it, and I really like what he's doing so far. I really do like what he's doing. There is some line delivery that basically copies the game, and it does sound a little bit off occasionally, but most of the time when they do recreate what happens in the game, it all feels natural, it feels different, it feels unique, you know, it feels like you've never seen it before, which is exactly what you want. But Pedro just adds so much subtlety, and it's not Troy's fault for not having a lot of I mean, Troy had subtlety, but the limitations of the game, how you make games, how you do the cutscenes and stuff like that, it was fixed in the remake. There was a lot more subtlety in the remake, but it's still the same, you know, performance, and there's only so much you can really remake without redoing the performance, if you know what I mean. Not knocking it, I'm just saying that Pedro Pascal, you know, being real life, you know, a real person filming it for real, it works so much better. There's so much more subtlety, there's so many more emotions you can get across, there's so many different elements of Joel's character, which is what we all loved about Joel's character, I think, that are all there. They're all there, everything is there, and it's working so far. And obviously we've got Bella Ramsey as Ellie. So in order to talk about Bella Ramsey and Ellie in general, we gotta address the elephant in the room, and that the Last of Us fandom are quite toxic. Let's be honest, they were not the most healthiest fan base, okay? It's not all our fault, not necessarily my fault. We can be quite toxic. We care about this, you know, the games, the story, the characters, and things like that. That being said, some of the criticism she got just for being cast was just horrible, okay? The most toxic people on, you know, Twitter, I mean, Twitter's toxic in general, but some people being horrible. They're criticizing her looks, criticizing her acting ability before they've even seen her act. I honestly, I'll tell you, I wasn't completely sold on her casting either, but I wasn't, you know, dropping fucking Twitter, oh my god, she does not look like Ellie at all. You know, I wasn't doing any of that crap, but I waited, and she's good. She's good as Ellie. She's good as Ellie, but I want something more from her, and I think we're gonna get that in later episodes. But I'm just gonna be honest with you. Don't spare me the dislikes. I like her, but I'm not 100% sold on her. Not yet. Pedro Pascal had a lot more screen time, so I think Bella Ramsey, she's gonna get a lot more screen time in the next episode, and that's where we're all gonna really see if, you know, she can really bring everything to the role. She's doing a good job so far. I'm not going to say she's doing an amazing job or anything, because she hasn't had anything to really, you know, challenge her, I guess. Not yet. We all know what's coming, but, you know, she hasn't had anything just yet. She's full of subtlety as well. She's got a lot of subtleties going on with her performance, which, you know, with what she had to do in this episode, best way to do it, I think. That's the best way to approach it, rather than being over dramatic or anything like that. So yeah, I like what she's doing, but, you know, the toxic fandom, you know, we all have our opinions about the characters. We all have our own ideas of who they are, what they should be like in live action, things like that. But you just gotta look past that. You gotta look past that and see what it is we've got, and I'm quite happy with it so far. I just want a little bit more. So the writing, they've added so much to it, while also somehow speeding past all the bloat, okay? Obviously, you don't have the gameplay. You don't have the gameplay to deal with, so you can just skip past that stuff. But still, the amount of story they get through in this hour and a half, while also extending it in various ways, through details, through the before outbreak situation. It's really remarkably paced. I never had a moment where I was just like, okay, we could cut this bit, we could miss this bit, this didn't have to be in here, we could have cut it in the game. None of it. It's all perfectly paced so far. And that's really remarkable, because that was one of my biggest worries. That was one of my biggest worries going into this, is that everything will be perfect, the sets, the acting, the writing, etc. But the pacing just won't be there, because pacing is so important for the game as well. And it's not perfect in the game, don't get me wrong, I've criticised it enough. But the show just they've just nailed it. They've nailed it. If they keep this up for the next 8 hours, or however long it's going to be, bro, we're looking at another like Chernobyl at this rate, because everything just works right now. Anyway, I'm kind of going off topic. Writing. So the writing, yeah, obviously spoke about the characters. Joel and Ellie, they're written pretty much perfectly so far. All the lines work. All the additions work. The expansion on their lives, it's working, basically. It's working. There's not much you could say right now. If the writing is anywhere near as good as what it is in this opening episode, lads, ladies, dogs, cats, whatever, I think we've got a banger here. I think we've got a banger. Okay, so let's talk about some of my criticisms, okay? So I've talked about most of the positive stuff. If I've missed some bits, it's because I'm doing this I'm not using a script or anything. I want to get my natural thoughts out. Criticisms. I don't really have any, to be honest with you. I really don't have that many criticisms, if any. They're mainly just nitpicks, if anything. There's, like I mentioned earlier, there was the delivery of lines from the game that they've put in the show that seem a little bit off, but that's only because I've played the game, If you haven't played the game, it's not going to bother you. You're not going to I've heard that line before, because you haven't heard it before. But for me, it just seemed a bit odd. Oh wait, no, there's one more thing. It's actually got nothing to do with the show itself, really. It's the release schedule. Sunday at 9 PM EST, I think it is. Why? Why? You're releasing it at 2 AM in the UK on a Monday morning when people have to go to work, bro. Could you not just release it on a Saturday or a Friday? If you're gonna release it at 9 PM EST or PST or whatever it is in America, just release it on a Friday or Saturday, so most people are not at work, unless you work in retail. I'm sorry. But the point is, why Sunday? Why Sunday at 9 PM? It's 2 AM in the Monday morning here, man. I stayed up and I was too tired to watch it. I went to bed. But yeah, honestly, criticism, that's it. That's all I've got for criticisms. The last thing I want to talk about, which I'm really excited to talk about, to be honest, it's that first 30 minutes. Okay, we're going to talk about spoilers. Spoilers here if you haven't watched it. The first 30 minutes expands on everything before the outbreak. And yeah, it was good. It was probably my favorite part of the whole episode. Mainly because it's new to me. I didn't see where most of what was going. In the game, you're stuck in the house for the outbreak, pretty much, until you get the car. But seeing Sarah's perspective, seeing her get that watch, repairing the watch anyway, seeing how people are reacting, with it being set in 2003 as well, with no social media or anything, so no one really knew what was going on, which was also quite an interesting choice. I think everything in those first 30 minutes, perfect. With the way they did, spoilers, Sarah's death. The girl that plays Sarah, I'm sorry, I don't have her name right now, I'm doing this without script. She killed it. Her performance in that bit was really good. She really sold She sold it. She did really well. But yeah, everything in that first 30 minutes was pretty much perfect. Tommy, Joel, how it's all filmed. Some of the long takes, seeing the neighbors slowly succumb to... My favourite shot, man, is when Sarah goes into the neighbor's house and she's just looking at some sort of book or something, and you could see, out of focus, the old lady just slowly turning. It's like she's at the crossroads point where you can't tell if they're just having a little bit of a stretch or something, and they're turning into this fucking blood-crazed zombie. Oh my god, I loved it. It's packed. They've smashed it here, guys. They've smashed it. So yeah, those are my unfiltered thoughts, I guess, without any script, so it's a bit all over the place. But what do you guys think if you've watched it? If you've watched the show, what do you think? Because I'm a massive fan of the game, as I've said. I think the show may replace it if they keep this up. I may not even like the game as much. That's the bad part. They make the show so good that they make the game look crap, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do for the next 8 weeks. I hope they don't mess it up. I hope the characters they add are decent. I hope that they keep this level of quality up. Because my god, it's good. It's good. Anyway, yeah. Thank you for watching. It's a TV show review, unlike me at all, but I wanted to make a review on this, and I will be for the next 8 weeks, which I'm really looking forward to. But yeah, thank you for watching. Appreciate it.